You know, I'm not a rocket science. What we have done with Uncle Darrow's is not through genius. It's just through will. And willing to put yourself in a position to say, you know something, I want to learn. And I tell people, just stay in the game, just keep moving, just keep moving. It's hard to hit a moving target. And is failure? No, failure is only when you decide to stop. I work 7 days a week. A restaurant is like a child you never wean. You know, you carry it on your hip everywhere you go. You know, and you never know what's coming down the pike. I mean, it's always something. You know, this is just food for the heart, man. Well, I have a couple who met at Uncle Darrow's and got married. Man, that's great. Isn't that big? They met here at Uncle Darrow's, cultivated a relationship, and tied the knot. Hi, this is Norwood Jr., CEO and President of Uncle Darrow's Incorporated, Uncle Darrow's Cajun Creole Eatery, and this is my journey. Born in New Orleans, grew up in a very small town outside of New Orleans called Mount Airy, Louisiana. My family used to cook for the Commander's Palace for over 27 years in New Orleans. And I used to work for the Hilton family. And the backstory on the Commander's Palace is the restaurant. This is where all the heavy hitters eat. It's been around since the late 1800s. It's currently owned by the Brennan families. So Paul Prudhomme trained there and Emeril Lagasse trained there. Now Uncle Darrow's, we started Uncle Darrow's February 1st of 1988, manufacturing confections, pecan candy, family recipe out of Louisiana. And our very first client was Nordstrom's. So right out of the chute, we hit a grand slam by having Nordstrom as one of our first retail clients. And from that, we started making candy for Neiman Marcus in Beverly Hills. And then we started baking for Starbucks. I don't have nothing but love for Mr. Irvin Magic Johnson. Now, when he did the deal with Howard Schultz, I had a chance to meet Mr. Schultz, incredible man, just like Mr. Johnson. They came to our commissary to vet us, obviously, and from that point we went from baking from about 5 stores a week to over 30 stores at the end of the deal. And it was just an amazing situation because of the fact that you never know who's watching you. This is why I tell people all the time that you never know who's watching you. There's an old adage, character is doing the right thing when no one is looking. We found a building that we're going to be the next See's Candy. We're going to have retail in the front, manufacturing in the back. So we found this building through someone that we know that was a landlord of this particular guy. We had the keys to the property. We had paid an interior designer a fee to be able to go out there and do all of the renderings and do the makeup and the whole 9 yards. We bought out an existing store. And I remember quite vividly, it was a Friday. I was on my way to New Orleans. The landlord attorney called me. He said, Norwood, why don't you come by the office so to ink the deal? So I said, on my way to New Orleans, I'll be back on Monday afternoon. He said, when you get back on Monday, come by my office. I got back Monday. I called him. He said, Norwood, I don't know how to tell you this, but we gave that property to another company after we had done all the work. We only had a verbal agreement with the landlord because through the relationship we had with his tenant. So he said, you're taking this quite well. I said, well, you have to do what you have to do for your client. I have to do what I have to do for Uncle Darrow's. So I immediately got off the phone and called our attorney. I gave him the backstory on what was happening. He said, Norwood, even though a verbal contract is binding, but Uncle Darrow's does not have the monetary resources to litigate it. So this is a Monday now. On Tuesday afternoon, on Tuesday morning, I stayed home and laid in the fetal position all day. I am just stunned. I am like devastated. So I called the family, Uncle Darrow's family. I said, what do you guys think about Uncle Darrow's red beans and rice and gumbo to go? Hi, welcome to Uncle Darrow's. There was a place on Venice Boulevard, a little hole in the wall, little turnkey operation, no parking in the community. I called 3 friends of mine, restaurateurs that I highly respected, before we even signed the lease. I said, well, do me a favor, would you drive by 5301 West Venice Boulevard and take a look at that place and tell me what your professional thoughts are. All three said, no, it's not a great location, man. It was just a little hole-in-the-wall place, very eclectic, but it reminds you of the South. It was just a mecca for those people who love that type of cuisine. So here at Uncle Darrow's, we just wanted to give you a cleaner version of our ancestry's cuisine. And I think we've done a relatively good job. You know, we've been featured 9 years running in the Los Angeles Times Magazine Best Of, 4 years in the Los Angeles Magazine. We've been on the Best of the Food Network. We've been on countless different programs. But when people from the South come through here and say, Uncle Darrow's got good food, that makes my day. I think one of my proudest moments with Uncle Darrow's, just the Uncle Darrow's itself, is the family members, my cousins and partners, to be able to get these men who are much smarter than I am, much nicer than I am, to be able to buy into this vision, you know, that I approached them with, and for them to support me still. And to know that they got my back. If I make a phone call right now and tell them I need them here, right now, I don't even have to tell them why. They're going to be here.